Welcome to SummitPoint's video demonstration of its key product, the SharePoint Content Management and Dashboard Reporting Tool, or the Commander tool for short. For this demonstration, we will go into detail about each of the features of the basic package for the Commander tool. The primary objective of the Commander tool is to facilitate as the central interface for SharePoint administrators, SharePoint site collection admins, and SharePoint developers. This tool is designed to consolidate all essential functionalities within one accessible location. The intent is to empower users with comprehensive tools and enhanced features, offering heightened control over their site collections. The dashboard is organized into tiers mirroring the hierarchy of a SharePoint site collection, site, web, and list, with each tier providing increasingly granular control. As stated earlier, this demonstration is about the basic package and the core modules. It's essential to note that additional modules exist and will be detailed in separate videos. The site-level tier of the Commander tool reflects functionality and features that affect the entirety of the site collection. At a minimum, the Commander tool site-level tier modules and widgets include the Site Title module and the Site Webs widget. The Site Title module is responsible for initializing all the site tier modules and widgets. The module is separated into three parts: the tier identifier, the site title, and the icon cluster. The tier identifier is a visual representation of the level in the SharePoint structure. The site title displays the name associated with the site collection. The icon cluster is a group of 4 icons. Error and message log icon. This icon allows the user to see any messages from the Commander tool regarding their actions in the error log modal. The error log modal allows the user to view any messages or errors that the Commander tool identifies. In the case of errors, this information is helpful in identifying if there is an issue with the Commander tool or not. Open Site icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the home page of the site collection. Site Settings icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the Site Settings page of the site collection. Refresh icon. This icon will forcibly reset the Site Title module and all subsequent site tier modules and widgets. The Site Webs widget is responsible for mapping the entirety of the site collection and providing users access to the web tier modules and widgets. The Site Webs widget contains an icon cluster composed of 4 icons. Expand/collapse all toggle. This icon allows the user to expand or collapse the tree view representing the infrastructure of the site collection. Advanced Settings icon. This icon opens the Site Webs Advanced Settings modal. More on that in a moment. Web Collection icon. This icon indicates how many webs exist in the site collections, and when the user clicks on it, the additional details, Site Webs Collection modal opens. Refresh icon. This icon allows the user to forcibly refresh the widget. The Site Webs widget is composed of a tree view representation of the site collection web hierarchy. Each node has several descriptive icons to indicate certain features. The top node has a database icon to indicate its place in the hierarchy. If a node has a children, then an icon is present to allow the user to expand/collapse that branch. Status icon. Each node has a status indicator, green, yellow, red, to represent how recently that web was changed. Inheritance icon. Each node has a link/unlinked icon to indicate if the permissions for that web are inherited from their parent node. Web link. Each node has a clickable link to allow the user to view the web tier modules as it relates to the selected web. Before we go any further, let's click on the Web Collection icon. As already stated, this opens the additional details, Site Webs Collection modal. The purpose of this modal, like all additional details modals, is to capture all the properties, functions, and methods associated with an object and display that information as a convenient table. First, the tool will ask the user if they want to open the modal in safe mode or not. If the user elects to use safe mode, then the modal will not attempt to retrieve any data, otherwise the modal will attempt to execute and display the results of an object's properties, functions, and methods. Items with a red diamond indicator represent a function or object that exists, but no data was able to be retrieved. If the user wants to explore the function or object, they will have to pursue that on their own. A yellow triangle indicator represents a function or object that exists, and some information about the function or object was able to be retrieved. The user will, again, need to explore that on their own. A green circle indicator indicates the function or object was able to be executed and provided results. Now that we have demonstrated the functionality of an additional details modal, moving forward with this video, we will not go into details about any other additional details modal. Instead, we will briefly open the modals to demonstrate complete functionality. Let's close the additional details modal and open the Site Web's Advanced Settings modal by clicking on the Site Web's Advanced Settings icon. This modal allows the user to create, update, and delete webs in the site collection. The user is presented with a menu and an expanded view of all the webs in the site collection. The Modals menu has the following options. Add Web. This menu button will open the Create Web modal that will allow the user to enter information to add a new web to the root of the site collection. Delete selected items. This menu button works in conjunction with the selection checkboxes next to each node. It will prompt the user to confirm that the selected webs will be deleted. Print Site Webs. This menu button will generate a print preview of the modal. Moving on to the modal's main content, we have the following controls and features. Select All icon. This icon allows the user to select all the webs in the modal. Each node in the modal has a selection checkbox. This icon cues the specified web as selected/unselected. An additional details icon. This icon opens the additional details web modal with a list of all the different functions and objects and any retrievable values associated with the selected web. An Add Subweb icon. This icon will open the Create Web modal that will allow the user to enter information to add a new subweb to the selected web. A Web Settings icon. This icon will open a new tab in the browser to the Web Settings page for the selected web. And a Delete Web icon. This icon will prompt the user to confirm that the selected web will be deleted. Within the node tree, each node has the following features. A status icon representing how recently that web was changed. An inheritance icon indicating if the permissions for that web are inherited from their parent node. A web link to allow the user to view the web tier modules as it relates to the selected web. Let's open the Create Web modal. The Create Web modal allows the user to create webs in the site collection. The user is presented with a form of required user inputs. After all of the controls have been populated, and the user clicks on the Save button, the Commander tool will create a subweb to the selected web. And finally, the additional details web modal. As stated earlier, we will not go into details about this modal. We will simply demonstrate that this functionality exists. Now let's move to the web level tier of the Commander tool by selecting one of the webs in the site collection. The web level tier of the Commander tool reflects functionality and features that affect a specific website in the site collection. At a minimum, the Commander tool web level tier modules and widgets include the web title module and the web lists widget. The web title module is responsible for initializing all the web tier modules and widgets. The module is separated into three parts: the tier identifier, the web title, and the icon cluster. The tier identifier is a visual representation of the level in the SharePoint structure. The web title displays the name associated with the web. The icon cluster is a group of 4 icons. Open Web icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the home page of the web. Web Settings icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the Site Settings page of the web. Delete Web icon. This icon will prompt the user for confirmation to delete the web. Confirmation will delete the web from the site collection. Refresh icon. this icon will forcibly reset the web title module and all subsequent web tier modules and widgets. The Web Lists widget is responsible for mapping the entirety of the web and providing users access to the list tier modules and widgets. The Web Lists widget contains an icon cluster composed of 3 icons. Advanced Settings icon. This icon opens the Web Lists Advanced Settings modal. List Collection icon. This icon indicates how many lists/libraries exist in the web, and when the user clicks on it, the additional details, Web Lists Collection modal opens. Refresh icon. This icon allows the user to forcibly refresh the widget. The Web Lists widget is composed of a table representation of the web's indexed file structure. Each row has several descriptive icons to indicate certain features. Type icon, an indicator to allow the user to recognize if the item is a list or a library. Status icon represents how recently that list/library was changed. Inheritance icon indicates if the permissions for that list/library are inherited from their parent web. List link, a clickable link to allow the user to view the list tier modules as it relates to the selected list/library. List items count, a number on the far right to indicate how many items are contained within the list/library, or it will be empty if no items exist. For completeness, we will briefly open the additional details, Web Lists Collection modal. We will not go into details. Now, let's open the Web Lists Advanced Settings modal. The Web Lists Advanced Settings modal allows the user to create, update, and delete lists/libraries in the web. The user is presented with a menu and a more detailed view of all the lists/libraries in the web. The modals menu has the following options. Add List. This menu button will open the Create List modal that will allow the user to enter information to add a new list to the web. Delete selected items. This menu button works in conjunction with the selection checkboxes next to each row. It will prompt the user to confirm that the selected lists/libraries will be deleted. Open Site Contents. This menu button will open the website contents page in a separate tab. Print Web Lists. This menu button will generate a print preview of the modal. Moving on to the modal's main content, we have the following controls and features. Select All icon. This icon allows the user to select all the lists/libraries in the modal. Each row in the modal has a selection checkbox. This icon cues the specified list/library as selected/unselected. An Additional Details icon. This icon opens the Additional Details list modal with a list of all the different functions and objects and any retrievable values associated with the selected list/library. A List Settings icon. This icon will open a new tab in the browser to the list/library settings page for the selected list/library. A Delete List icon. This icon will prompt the user to confirm that the selected list/library will be deleted. Each row has the following features. A status icon that represents how recently that list/library was changed. An inheritance icon to indicate if the permissions for that web are inherited from their parent web. The list/library title and GUID. The number of items within the list/library. The date the list/library was last modified. Let's open the Create List modal. The Create List modal allows the user to create lists/libraries in the site collection. The user is presented with a form of required user inputs. After populating the controls and clicking on the Save button, the list/library will be created in the web. Finally, let's open the Additional Details list/library modal. Again, we will not go into details about this modal as it has already been covered. Now let's select a list/library from the Web Lists widget. This will open the list level tier. The list level tier of the Commander tool reflects functionality and features that affect a specific list or library in a website in the site collection. At a minimum, the Commander tool list level tier modules and widgets include the list title module. The list title module is responsible for initializing all the list tier modules and widgets. The module is separated into three parts: the tier identifier, the list title, and the icon cluster. The tier identifier is a visual representation of the level in the SharePoint structure. The list title displays the name associated with the list. The icon cluster is a group of 4 icons. Open list/library icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the default page of the list/library. List/library settings icon. This icon will open a separate tab in the browser to the settings page of the list/library. Delete list/library icon. This icon will prompt the user for confirmation to delete the list/library. Confirmation will delete the list/library from the web. Refresh icon. This icon will forcibly reset the list title module and all subsequent list tier modules and widgets. This concludes SummitPoint's demonstration of the basic package of the SharePoint Commander tool. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions, or review our tool's documentation and watch some of our other videos on the other modules. Thank you for your time and your interest.